Tanya Barnett Show. It's the 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 Tanya. When we talk about real things, talk about life things. The 21st century woman gotta get right. Entrepreneurship, motherhood, marriage, divorce, dating, healthy living, and thriving, of course. It's the Tanya Barnett Show. It's the Tanya Barnett Show.
Hey there, this is Tanya Barnett, the host of the Tanya Barnett Show, where we discuss the unique challenges of the 21st century women. So buckle up and get ready, sister, to get your life right.
It's the Tanya Barnett Show. It's the Tanya Barnett Show. It's the Tanya Barnett Show. It's the Tanya.
Hey, how are you? This is Tanya Barnett, your host of the Tanya Barnett Show. I am so super excited about tonight's show. I have a fantastic guest. She's going to leave you inspired. You're going to want to run out, start that business, dream big, run that marathon, whatever it is that you have your heart's desire to do. My special guest tonight, she is going to inspire you to do that. So get ready. Make sure you hit up your girlfriends, your guy friends. Let them know that they need to meet you right now here at the Tanya Barnett Show. You know, on my show, we talk about all things that pertain to the 21st century woman and the unique challenges that we have. And so I just wanted to bring up something really quick that I had, an epiphany that I had not too long ago. As some of you know, depending on when you're watching this, my daughter is pregnant, and she's due in a couple of months. And so one of the things I had thought about was the big debate about whether to breastfeed or not. And I just wanted to say today, here as a 21st century woman who has an adult child and 2 children that are getting ready to leave out of high school, is that I think that we need to stop the debate on which is better and just focus on being the best moms that we can be. I think at this point in history and in time, with everything that's going on, it's really important to focus on the things that matter. So whether you decide to bottle feed your baby, breastfeed your baby, whatever works for you and your family is what's best for you and your family. So I challenge you right now, and I know majority of my friends are in their 40s, so this doesn't apply to you, but some of you may have adult children. One of my friends, her son just proposed to his girlfriend after 6 years of dating, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I really think it's important for us to stop judging each other, stop comparing, breast is best and all this other stuff, and just really focus on what is best for your family. Whether your kids sleep with you or don't sleep with you, it is what works for your family and what is best. So I would challenge you today, if you hear people have those type of conversations about stay-at-home mom, work from, those moms that go to work, let them know that, there's no judgments. You're still my sister. Do what's best for you and your family. So I challenge you today here on the Tanya Barnett Show to do what's best for you and your family. We're not going to take that foolishness any further into the 21st century because we got a lot of things to do, ladies. We got to march. We got to take care of our health care, our elderly parents. We're looking at Social Security being taken away. So there's a lot of issues that are way more pressing, way more important, as opposed to breast is best or bottle feeding, cloth diapers, disposable diapers, all those things that are foolishness that don't mean anything at the end of the day. So right after this break, I'll come back with the She's Gotta Have It, where I share my favorite Black business right here on the Tanya Barnett Show. Don't go anywhere.
Listen Vision, Listen Vision, DC's #1 recording studio. Listen Vision.
Hey everybody, this is Tanya Barnett, your host of the Tanya Barnett Show, where we talk about the challenges of the 21st century woman. I'm so excited about this segment. You all know that this is my absolute favorite segment on the Tanya Barnett Show, where I feature Black businesses here on She's Gotta Have It. So my Black business today is none other than Mahogany Books. They are a Black bookstore right here in the Maryland, well, actually they're in the Maryland, D.C. area. They're actually in Anacostia. And they actually made history because they're the first bookstore in 25 years in that area. They are actually serving a book desert. And a book desert means that there's no bookstores. There's nothing in the immediate area for the residents there or the neighbors there to purchase books. And so I'm really excited to be able to highlight them. Number one, because Ramonda and Derek, they're really good friends of me and my husband. And number two, because I love books. You all know that I have a nonprofit where we give away free kids books. That's me and Ramonda right there. Actually was there this past weekend, had a great time with her and some of our other fantastic friends. And the beautiful thing is my book is in her store. So that is exciting. So my She's Gotta Have It tonight is none other than Mahogany Books. Check them out. It's the holiday season, birthdays, anniversaries, baby showers, you name it, they have the books for you. There's books that have been out of print. So we're talking about Black books from the 60s, the 70s, from the 50s, that they were able to get reprints of these books. So make sure you check them out, Mahogany Books. And I actually have on their shirt because I volunteer there. That's how much I love books, that I actually volunteer at their bookstore. So check them out, Mahogany Books DC. They're on social media. They do have a website, Mahogany Books. You can actually purchase books there. So if you're not in the Maryland, DC area, you can actually go online and purchase books. You'll actually get autographed books as well. So not too many bookstores. I know Amazon and those places don't give you autographed books. Mahogany Books, you can get autographed books. So kudos and shout out to Ramonda and Derek Young of Mahogany Books for starting their bookstore. I'm just so super excited, and I'm proud of them all for stepping out on faith. So right after this segment, after this break, my special guest, I will be introducing her in a few minutes. So don't go anywhere. This is Tanya Barnett with the Tanya Barnett Show.
Listen Vision, Listen Vision, DC's #1 recording studio.
Hey everybody, this is Tanya Barnett, the host of the Tanya Barnett Show, where we talk about the unique challenges of the 21st century woman and how we conquer them. So I'm really excited about my special guest tonight. She is fantastic. It is none other than Shayzon Prince. Hey lady, how are you?
Hi, how are
There
you?
she is. I'm doing fantastic. Welcome to my show. I'm so honored to have you tonight.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm so excited.
Well, I'm excited because I was just on your podcast. So I love that I am connected to women who support each other. It's not a competition. We're all about supporting and uplifting one another. And so I thank you for allowing me to be a part of your show.
Absolutely. I enjoyed you being there. It was an honor for you to be on my show. So here we go.
Oh,
That's
awesome.
how we do it.
Awesome. So for those who don't know anything about you, can you share just a little bit about who you are and why they need to know you?
Wow.
This is why I never
Well-
give my guests the questions ahead of time, because I want real, honest answers straight from, your heart, your head, as opposed to rehearsed answers. So that's how the interview's going to be.
Well, I mean, I'm Shayzon, and mom of two. I have two teenagers in the house. You and I connected on that. You gave me some secret apps that have been working since the day you told
Yay!
me.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes, married, going on 18 years,
Woo!
and yes, yeah. And so it feels like it's just like flying by. So that's awesome. And I'm a retired celebrity hair and makeup artist. I've been in the industry with that for 20 plus years, and lifestyle and beauty expert, and host of my show, The Skinny. I was recently on a Bravo show called Mother Funders, and that was a group of mothers. And the whole thing of balancing, for me, I'm a working mom, and balancing career, being involved with my kids at school for fundraising and being on the PTA. And then the show came in and captured the moms doing that. There was 7 of us that there were, different aspects. We have some stay-at-home moms, working moms, mompreneurs. And so it was taking all the different aspects and showing how we're maneuvering all of that stuff. So that was quite an experience, being on that reality show and being a part of Bravo. And I also have my girls initiative that I launched last year, Chikified Girl Initiative, and I launched that in Jamaica.
Yay!
Which was,
congrats! And we just the engineer just put a picture up on the screen of you in Jamaica with the girls.
Oh yeah! Oh my God, that was like such an amazing moment, because I wanted to have that happen so badly throughout my life, and so I felt so blessed being able to have the opportunity to make that, a reality of going back home, because I'm from Jamaica, and showing these girls that, it doesn't matter about your current circumstances. It doesn't matter about how things look, what your past is, what you're going through. That does not dictate your future. And just wanting to instill in them that, dream big.
Right.
Dream till it doesn't make any sense, because, it can happen.
Right.
How do you go through life without a dream? So it's just letting them know that don't have your dreams or your visions or your hopes and goals be dictated by the immediate circumstance. And it's not, that just doesn't go for girls. It's for boys, and it doesn't just go for kids. That's for adults at different stages in their lives. It doesn't matter what you're currently going through. Don't let that prevent you from dreaming beyond. So I'm all about self-empowerment, women empowerment, girls empowerment. From where I came from, moving to a new country when I was young, and just completely looking at the United States of America as like, oh my God, how am I going to even figure out how to get home from school? Forget the whole country.
Wow.
It was like my block and my walk to school was just so overwhelming. It was just so new, so different from coming from my island. And, but I'm here, and I can honestly say that all the goals, except for my new goals that I had set for myself, I have accomplished them.
Wow. Congratulations.
So that's why I want to tell people, you just do it. And every day for me is not a positive day. It's not all just always working out. It's scary sometimes. It's overwhelming sometimes. And sometimes I ask myself, what am I doing? Why am I setting yet another goal? Because the frightening part of setting new goals is that when you've accomplished one goal and you set another one, even though you might be here on top in this area of your life and in your career or whatever goal that is that you have set for yourself, when you start another one, you're starting from scratch.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's the starting over that that can get in your head, where it's like, wait a minute. What am I doing? Why? You have those days, but then you just have to use your past experiences to kind of help you through the process, and knowing like, wait a minute, I had that goal. I went through the hard times. Right. I had to whine. I had to cry. I had to lay on my face. I had to pray. I had to do the ugly cry and think I'm a failure and go through all of that. But it's just a part of the process. Right. It really. So it's like what you said, women empowering each other, women supporting each other. It's so important to do that. And what I will say, I have to say this. Okay. Is that there are a lot of women out there. I have come across a lot of women out there that say that they're about women supporting women.
Wow.
Are just saying it. They are not about that. They are not about it. It's when they are presented with that opportunity to then help someone else, or just sharing information or some of their knowledge or experience.
That's heavy.
That's when you realize, okay, you're just out here talking about this, but you know, you're not willing to share. I don't know if it comes from the feeling of, I don't want to share because I don't want you doing what I'm doing, or I don't want to share because I don't want you taking my light, or whatever that reason is, or insecurity may be. I'm finding that now that I'm out there and talking to more women and, you know, in this new area of needing information so that I can share information. And you find that there are a lot of shady ladies out there. I'm just going to say, going to say that. And these are business women. These are, you name it, at different points. And then that's when you realize. And I definitely don't want to ever be that person where I've gone through all of this, and now that someone needs the information, I'm not willing to share.
Right.
Yeah, and that I think is, you know, we're all about women empowerment. We're all about empowering each other, lifting each other up.
Right.
But when it's down to it, are you really about that?
Right. Yeah, are you about that life? Do your actions line up with your words? And I've even heard that about several coaches too, that, you know, when people get into the programs and they're paying, you know, all this money, it doesn't add up. You know, the money that they're paying, and their coaches still are stringing them along after paying several thousands of dollars. But the beautiful thing is, here on the Tanya Barnett Show, I'm very specific about who I have on here, because it has to be someone who has integrity, someone who is about giving back, who is philanthropic like yourself. And so I love the fact that we're connected. Thank you, Christine St. Ville, for the connection. I'm gonna put that out there. I love her. You know, she was here a couple of weeks ago, and then her sister was here 2 weeks ago. So, you know, it really is about supporting one another. And I love what you said about just the whole empowerment thing, because I think a lot of times, you know, when we start this journey and people see you on Bravo, or they see, you know, they hear your podcast, or they see, you know, pictures on social media of you in Jamaica, like you said, there are days where you were crying. There were some days where you had fear, doubt, wondering, what did I get myself into? Can I do this? You know, all those things. People don't consider that. They just think, well, I can't do it. That's Shayzon because she had a connect, or someone put her down with it. But you had to do the work. You had to get through that fear. You had to do it afraid. And so I appreciate you sharing that you do have those moments.
Yeah, they're frightening moments when you're going through it, because it's very real. And as much as we know all of the affirmations to say, and we know all of the right things, and we know what we're supposed to be thinking, and we know that if it was somebody else or our friend, we'd know what to tell them. We can say them, but when we're actually going through it, because it's so real at that time, it becomes scary, because sometimes you can't, you know the words, but you can't feel beyond that moment. And then that's what makes it so frightening, because you're like, I know better, but why can't I just shake this feeling that I'm having? Why can't I just shake this fear? I know that I'm supposed to fear through it, which is one of the episodes I had on the skinny. It's like fearing through it, fear and flaws, but still not making that prevent you from moving forward. And the scary part about it is when you're in it, you know, because it becomes paralyzing sometimes. And it's moments where you do feel like crying, and moments where, because it's such a vulnerable time when you do get into that space of your journey, a lot of times you're skeptical about, who can I share this with? Who's going to be there to kind of help me out? Who's not going to judge me, or who's not looking for an opportunity to freeze me in this vulnerable moment? Because they see you going along and doing these different things, but then now they see that you have this moment, And it's like, oh, this is my opportunity to get in. Oh, she does have a weakness. Oh,
Right.
I'm going to be talking about this 2 years from now when she's moved on and doing this, that, and whatever. I remember when.
Right.
You know, you do have those people around. That's why I always talk about your front row people, like the people who you have in the front row of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always going to be all family members. It's not
Right.
always going to be who people would immediately think they would be. But those are the people that you have to be really selective and know that you can trust in your weak place where
Right.
they can identify it as just a moment, but not who you are. And know that everybody goes through it and all they need to do is to see you through, but
That is
not
so good.
hold you or then have this as like a token that they can drop on you later on.
Right.
Yeah, so be very selective of who you share your dreams with, who you share your goals with. And I always think of this too, and I strongly believe that for you to know my weakness, you have to deserve to know my weakness.
Oh, that's good. Wow. Wow.
For me to share that part of me, it means that I believe you deserve that part of me, because that's a very precious part. If I'm just giving that out there freely, that's for people to just take and do with me and mold me and put me into whatever picture they want me to be in, or whatever part of life they want to see me in. They want to keep me in my weak place.
Right.
Those stories aren't to be the deepest part of you. I don't believe should be shared with just anyone.
Right. Right. That is
You
so
have
good.
to deserve my story. Yeah.
And you know, the funny thing is, I can think of two people that I know where they fake vulnerabilities and hurts and disappointments to get attention. You know, and it's like you don't even want to ask them any questions because you're like, Lord.
Oh, I know.
You know, because you just know they're gonna, you know, rattle off a list of everything that's wrong, and then they want you to help them or fix them, quasi help, I'll say, because then the next time you see them, it's the same soup warmed over. So yeah, I really like that you said be very selective, and that's something that for me was difficult, being selective as to what I was sharing, who I was sharing with. I had people say, well, I didn't find out you were doing this, that, and the third until you know, posted it on Facebook or whatever. And I had to let those people know it's not even about you, the individual. It really was about me, because if I'm telling 100 different people are going to have 100 different opinions about what I'm doing. So like you're saying, being very selective. So if you find out via Facebook or Instagram, it's not a slight against you. It's just I'm holding certain people closer to me and trusting them with supporting me and with building me up and helping me through those times where I'm like, girl, I cannot do this. Where they're like, oh, yes, you can. You're going to get your tail in there and you're going to get this done. So, yeah, I'm very selective as well.
Those are your front row people. The ones that you know, you can say, oh my God, today is not good for me. Like I'm having a down day. I'm under the blanket, or you might be under the bed, depending on how drastic it is. But yeah, because, you know, to point on what you're saying, where you have some people where there is always a negative, or there's always something going on, but because they know that you're the positive one, they suck that from you every time, because it's like they want you to just pump them and pump them and pump them all the time. And then you got to think about guarding your heart, guarding your emotions, guarding your spirit and your energy. Do you need that all the time? Because sometimes that ends up pulling so much from you that by the time you're done, they're off and gone. Right. You just filled up their tank, but then now it's left you empty. But like you're saying, though, you have some people where they thrive on that. So there genuinely isn't something wrong, but they want it for attention. Right. They pull from you so much, and then they're gone on your way, but you're giving from a genuine place, and then now you're drained. Right. And it's, was that even worth it? Right. You know, you have those people, like you were saying, where there is just a select few that will know about the process, and then it comes back to you're an overnight success, or, oh, this must have just happened for you, or this is someone must have gave you a connection,
Right.
or it just seems that way, where it's like, no, this is years in the making.
Right.
It's just that if I'm telling 100 people the story, I got to go back and update 100 people every step of the way.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I totally agree with you on that one.
Right. Right.
Totally.
And I love your story about how you came here from Jamaica, and how your life just blew up, basically. I just think it's fantastic. So it is proof here on the Tanya Barnett Show. I want people to understand that anything is possible if you believe, and it doesn't matter where you come from, but if you put in the work and you're earnest and you're about doing good things happen for you. So yeah. Shayzon, we're gonna be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere. This is Tanya Barnett with the Tanya Barnett Show.
Awesome.
Listen Vision, Listen Vision, DC's #1 recording studio.
Hey everybody, this is your host of the Tanya Barnett Show, Tanya Barnett, of course. And my special guest tonight is none other than Shayzon Prince. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Awesome. So you are a fashion mixologist. Can you let us know what a fashion mixologist is? Because I've never heard of that until I met you. So for those who've never heard of it, can you let them know what that is?
There's not very many.
Okay.
The whole thing of fashion mixology, which it ties back into moving here at a very young age and then moving to another country, we started from very humble beginnings. And so we had to make do with what our finances would allow at that time. I didn't know what a thrift store was separate from a department store. When I moved here to this big old America, everything was just big. I was just like, this is the land of giants.
Right.
So while I was in school, some of the things that we got with our family from my mom and going shopping and stuff, we got from thrift stores. And my mom is a very, very classy lady. So even though we got things from the thrift store, she was extremely selective, and it was always done with class, and we were always put together. And again, I had no idea of the difference between a thrift store and a department store. So I encountered a bit of bullying while I was in elementary school after I moved here, and it went on all the way through to middle school, and it was very bad. And a portion of that was being teased because I didn't know the difference of a thrift store. And I think I had mentioned this in conversation where they're like, where this come from is a thrift store. And then that became like the ridicule, and everybody ran with that. And so at that point, I realized this was something that I guess wasn't cool or was to be ashamed of. But it never made me feel ashamed of my mom. It never made me feel ashamed, because during that time, even when we were going and I guess being very selective, now that I'm looking back as a parent and an adult, being very selective in your choices and making sure that you're living within your means. And it was very important for us to be very well put together with my mom, just, making sure it's like, you don't wear your struggles on your sleeve. You know what I mean? You hold your head up and you go according to where you're going. You live your life according to where you're going. What's your goal? Not right now. And so I enjoyed it because it was such a fun time for my mom and I, my sister and I, for us to go to the thrift store. So regardless of being laughed at school, I still saw it as such a pleasant memory. And so that was just a huge vein in my growing up here. and I enjoyed going. And then as I got older, I enjoyed going by myself because of all the uniqueness. And there's so much that you can find in a thrift store, even till today, or a vintage store or a resale store that, you know, just great things. And so I take pleasure in that. And I'm all about, you know, as you get older and my career moved on and my finances changed and I was able to explore different, you know, things. So I never grew up being label conscious. I didn't know whatever. I just grew up knowing I know quality. And that was from my mom. Because even though we were in the thrift store, she always was very selective with the quality of what we had, the condition of everything and all that stuff. So you wouldn't even be able to tell, like, oh, that's dingy. You know what I mean? So based on that, that's where the mixology came into it, because I mix the things from the thrift store, the vintage store, a resale store. I mix them with labels, and everything is so seamless that you can't identify one piece versus the other. And that's an art to be able to select in that way. But I took great pride, which didn't happen when I was younger. When I was younger, I felt very ashamed to be me. And I got to that point from the bullying, because I had never encountered anything like that when I was in Jamaica. And so the names that I was called and being called over and over and over, and, you know, being humiliated for my accent, being humiliated for my hair, being humiliated for being slim, and just the clothes I was wearing and all of these different things. So I started looking at myself in ways that I had never looked at myself before. And then I started feeling ashamed of it. And so I wanted to always hide away and to do things where I wouldn't be seen, like go and sit all the way in the back of the class. And got to the point where if I had papers to turn in while I was in class, I'd wait until class was over just so I wouldn't have to walk to the front of the class, because I didn't want to be teased. And it just took the whole bullying for me and being teased and all of these things took a grip of my life, which it took so many years, even after I was done with high school, to really be able to shed all of that. But I'm very proud of the journey that we went through to be where we are right now in life, and how we started from humble beginnings to where I am right now. And many people go through that. It's not unique to just me. The uniqueness becomes your own story of what your experience was like. And so the mixology part of it is just being able to mix it. It doesn't matter what your financial bracket may be. It doesn't matter, you know, if you have money or not, you can still be pulled together. I know how to do it. I've done it from experience. And you know, and the funny thing is that I take such pleasure, because some of the times that I would go to like these big events or whatever it may be, I'm like smiling on the inside, because I know that I've probably paid $10 for whatever I'm wearing, but nobody would know. And so it's like I take such pleasure in that, you know, as great enjoyment that it may be if you have on a designer piece or someone styled you or all these other things. But I love that too, because it's so true that it really doesn't matter about the price that you've paid for something. It's about how you wear it. And so I want to always encourage people that you don't need a bunch of money to be able to, you know, feel good about yourself. You don't have to feel like you're less than because you can't afford the $300 dress or, you know, the whatever label shoes or handbags or this, that, or whatever. I can pull it all together on a very petite budget, and you can still look good. The most important part of every look, no matter how much you've paid for it, because you can have on the most expensive thing and still not look good. It's about confidence. That's it. If you got confidence, I can work with whatever budget you got.
That sounds fantastic. So I'm gonna send you a check and my measurements, so you can go shopping for me, because I've seen your looks on Instagram, and I'm telling you, some of the stuff I'm like, that was from a thrift store. I mean, it just is fantastic, and so I love it. And it was something that you had said about, you know, how you sat in the back of the classroom, and how you turned in your papers later because you didn't want to be seen. And I felt a little bit of pride because I'm like, wow, now look at you. You know, I wonder what those same students would say if they saw you now. They probably be hanging their heads in shame right now, like, dang. You know, we teased her and everything, and now, you know, she was on a television show and, you know, all these things, and, you know, God only knows where they are. So,
you know what's so funny about that? I will tell you, there's a couple of people that reached out to me after the show, during the show, and just in my career before, because with working with Nancy Grace as her personal makeup artist for so many years, it entailed a lot of traveling and just a lot of richness that went into that portion of my career. And so I guess in seeing certain things, and people start, what is it they slide? What is the term that
slide in your DM? Yeah, slide in your DM.
Right. And so, you know, and getting the messages, but when you are on the receiving end of being teased or bullied and stuff, it's very easy for the other person to forget what they said or what they did. But when it has restructured your life based on those words, you don't forget. Right. You know, that name pops up, or you see, I can't say the picture because a lot of people don't look like what we were in high school now. It's a whole different ballgame.
I think we look younger now than we did then, and more fit.
Right. And so when you see that name come up, it immediately brings back a memory or a feeling. Wow. So, you know, the reaching out and the kind words and the this and whatever, and it's like, whoa, do you remember what you said? Do you remember how you humiliated me? You know, you have no idea what has happened, because words are so powerful, and people, I don't think they realize that. And especially like with our children, and not teaching them that from a very young age is so destructive as well. Right. And you can say something to someone in passing, and that has totally redirected their path. Yep. You know what I mean? And so yeah, that has happened where some of them, and I'm just like, I'm like, interesting, nice.
And see, I'm gonna say it DC style. Really though. And that has happened to me here recently too. I'm just like, really? Because, you know, I was short, flat chested, so I was always teased, you know, that nobody would like me, you would never get a boyfriend, you know, all those type of things. And so now I've even had people say, oh my God, and that are like overweight, you know, those girls that have boyfriends and stuff, and now they're following me and saying, oh my gosh, you know, I wish I had what you had, and I, you know, all these things. And I'm just like, wow, in high school you didn't feel that way, you know. So, you know, the tables do turn, you know, and the beautiful thing that I've learned is still to treat those people with grace and mercy. You know, because just because they treated me badly back then doesn't mean I have to do that now.
Yeah, and the thing is that when you get to a place within yourself where you've personally healed, and you may have scars, sometimes scars stay forever, you know, some fade away, some will stay forever. But when you do get to that place of realization within yourself, and you're able to free yourself from all of those words, and, you know, even though sometimes they may come back and haunt you, or, you know, kind of make you shake a bit, once you've gotten beyond that, then you can interact with these same people. Mm-hmm. And now I know that we went through all of that, and I remember, and some of the things were so hurtful that I don't want to remember, or don't want to allow myself to remember or relive that feeling. But there isn't any anger. I don't have anger towards them. I have no ill wishes towards them or anything, because that's beyond, you know, and that that's also helped to make me be the person that I am today, where I am more compassionate with kids, and I'm like zero tolerance with bullying, like zero.
Right.
Zero
I'm
tolerance.
so with you. So with
Yeah,
you.
and, because I know how destructive it can be, and it's not something to be taken lightly whatsoever. But you get through it, and the grind is that this thing will live with you. I mean, I was teased about the shape of my nose. I was teased about, what my face looked like. At some points, it was like, where are you from? You don't look like a real Black person. And I was like, what is that?
Wow.
There was just so many different critiques coming at you, at me, and it does. It made me walk. Every time I would sit down, I'd sit in the corner, and I was always like this.
Wow.
I was like, all through middle school, I would sit this way in the back in the corner because I didn't want anyone to catch my profile. Since that first time when they did that, and it was like everything just caught on.
Right.
And where are you really from? Where's your family from? And all of this stuff. So you kind of develop these things, coping mechanisms,
right.
or coping tactics, and so those are the things where if you are a child that's not talking about what's happening to you while you're in school or when you're around your peers that are doing these different things, it can become so destructive. Right. Because I'll tell you something honestly too, that became such an insecurity for me, my profile, that it's not until maybe 5 years ago that I allowed myself to do a profile picture.
Wow. Wow, that's heavy.
Just, from this, like I never wanted I was always like moving. Like if someone's talking to me and they go here, I move.
Wow.
And it just became like it was just a natural part of who I was. And I just, my profile, I just never wanted anyone to see my profile. I would just not take a picture of my profile or have anyone take a picture of my profile. But, and that's not that long ago.
Wow. Wow.
When you really think about from childhood having that be something, right. I didn't realize that it had me gripped in that way until just one day. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I just became so natural in living that way. It was just a natural part of me, but I didn't realize the connection of it.
Wow.
And that at first it wasn't easy for me to just like kind of let go of that. But yeah, that wasn't that long ago.
Wow.
That is heavy. Even, I just always just like this.
Wow.
You see me just doing things like that or whatever, but it's just a natural part of who I became.
Wow, that is heavy. You're dropping a lot of nuggets today. I'm just like floored because you radiate beauty, and to think that just 5 years ago you were struggling with your self-value, self-worth, how you look. I think it's really important for women who are watching to understand that we all struggle with something, but you can get over it. Definitely can get over it. So Shayzon, we're going to take a really quick break, and we're going to come back and find out where people can reach out to you to learn more right here at the Tanya Barnett Show.
Great. Thank you.
Listen Vision, Listen Vision, DC's #1 recording studio. Oh! Listen Vision.
Hey everybody, this is Tanya Barnett, your host of the Tanya Barnett Show. I am so super excited about my guest tonight. I have none other than Miss Shayzon Prince, and she has been dropping knowledge. I'm in awe because, again, like I said, people see our natural beauty but don't understand the things that people have struggled with. And so I hope if you are that person right now that is going through something and you're struggling with something, whether it's your finances, whether it's your health, how you look, things that you dealt with in your childhood, there is hope for you. We all can change. We all can overcome those things. We can all be empowered. And so that's one of the things and the purpose behind the Tanya Barnett Show is to talk about those unique challenges of the 21st century woman. Something like bullying. Who would think that when you're an adult woman with children and a husband, that the effects of bullying from your childhood still dictate some of your behaviors, and these are things we're not talking, and we're talking about successful women, we're not talking about someone who's, homeless, on drugs, things of that nature. We're talking about successful women still struggling. So if that is you, Shayzon, how can they reach out to you?
You can contact me through Shayzon.com. You can send me an email through the contact page. You can also find me on @Shayzon for Instagram, and that's SHAYZ as in zebra, ON as in Nancy. On Twitter, it's Shayzon Prince. On Facebook, you can find me under Shayzon as well for my public page. But you can send me messages through Instagram or through Shayzon.com, and you can also have direct links to the podcast, which is
I was going to ask you about that. So can you tell us a little bit about your podcast?
Through Shayzon.com, and it's also on iTunes. And the Skinny is spelled SKINNI, and it's on iTunes and also on SoundCloud, or you can listen directly from my website.
Awesome. And so can you give us a little snippet about the podcast and what they can expect?
Sure. Okay, so the podcast. Okay, we get down to the nitty gritty of the topics pertaining to us women, whether we're married, whether we're single, whether we're mothers, whether we're entrepreneurs, mompreneurs, solopreneur, whateverpreneur it is. But as we're filling all of those different shoes, we still there's a common vein for women across the board. There's still things that we deal with, like, again, the residual aggravations or the residue from bullying. And you could be getting bullied from your spouse. Let's go there.
That's so true. That's so true.
Getting, bullied from your colleagues, your boss, or whatever. So it doesn't always, when you hear that kind of emotional stress or strain that comes with that, it doesn't always have to go back to childhood. You may have had that time and everything was fine, but you're encountering different challenges right now. And like Tanya was saying, you're here at a great point in your career or in your life or whatever the successes are for you, and you still have certain insecurities that kind of creep up on you. And sometimes it takes so many years for you to fully get over something. It's not a matter of you not being over something. Sometimes it's just a memory or a feeling that comes back, and then you got to grip that thing and, send it out the door. But it's a podcast where we get to the real deal. If women have gone from A to B in their life, I want to know about the journey in between the A and B, because it's like, I had a hard life and now I'm successful, and you can do it too. Can you tell me how?
Right. We don't need the rah-rah. Give me the how-to. That's what I need.
Cut the smoke screen. I'm all up in the smoke. I want to get in the smoke. That's what we do on the Skinny. I want you to talk and keep it real. I keep it real. And that's truly how I feel like I can continue to pass on that empowerment. Because if you're sitting and listening and you want to have a career like Jane, if I'm interviewing Jane, I want you to leave that show and know, okay, wait a minute, she went to school for this, or she did this, or these were her challenges, right, or I'm doing the same thing right now. So it's not odd that I'm going through these struggles because I'm hearing Jane talk about it too. So I just try to make sure that you leave with something that's tangible. You leave feeling empowered and motivated. I'm just myself. Sometimes I might fumble my words because I don't edit my show. Let me just say. Right. It's just a real deal, but I try to give you great interviews with great people, women that can, pass that baton on to the next person. And then some of the shows, it's just me where I'm covering topics that I feel are meaningful and helpful. And Yeah, so it's all about just keeping it very real, self-empowerment, being able to keep yourself on target and empowering each other. I'm all about that. That's why at the start of the show, I was like, not all the women are out there that are saying that are really about it.
Right.
So I get the ones on there that really are about it so that we can continue to, have this women empowerment, girls movement just rise. I just love how it's so beautiful to me, all of these women that are just taking the bull by the horn and just starting their own companies or, just stepping out on that dream and just the business, women's businesses, women's companies, all of this stuff. I just feel like it's such a great time and it's such a beautiful thing. It's just great for me to see. I love that.
Well,
and I want the girls to know it so they can do it too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being my guest on my show tonight. It has been an honor. I'm so glad we were connected through Christine because I see you doing big things, and I want to partner with you also, getting some books in the hands of the girls in Jamaica. So we definitely have to make that happen through my nonprofit.
I'm going to be heading back down there in May again.
Okay.
And back to the girls again to do that. So that's something I definitely want to do. And as we're going, there's a company. I tried texting you during the Skype. There's a company I want to talk about really quick if I can. Just
go for it. Yeah.
Black business, and it's called Side Piece. It's the original Side Piece. And so for women, I don't know. I don't like seeing men's wallets like bulging out of their pockets and their phones and this or whatever. So, it just does not look fashionable.
Okay.
So there's this awesome company and around the holidays, and it's actually like a leather holder for your cell phone, and it has the area back here for your other information, with wallets and stuff. And so I can send you the information, but it's the original Side Piece, and it's leather. It's beautiful. You can get them in colors. It's engraved on the front. And you can go to their Instagram page, and it's originalsidepiece.com, and it's really, really great. So that's the Black business that I wanted to talk about.
That's the Black business. Awesome. Yeah, and my husband is looking for a new wallet, too. So I wrote it down on my piece of paper. The original sidepiece.com. Well, awesome. Thank you so very much for being my guest tonight. I am honored. I can't wait to work with you. I can't wait to hug your neck the next time I come down to Atlanta.
Yes.
And so thank you again. My special guest tonight has been none other than Miss Shayzon Prince. And I thank you again. And right after this break, I'm going to tell you guys where you can get my brand new book here on the Tanya Barnett Show.
Yay. Bye.
Listen Vision. DC's #1 recording studio.
Hey everybody, this is Tanya Barnett of the Tanya Barnett Show. We are wrapping up tonight's show. I want to thank my special guest again, none other than Shayzon Prince. She went from a little girl on the island of Jamaica to being on Bravo on a television show. So if she can do it, you can do it. She came here as an immigrant, like she said, and her mother was shopping at the thrift store, and now she is a household name. And so I thank her so much for being on my show tonight. I'm really excited because of my brand new book. I'm doing pre-sales for my brand new book. It is called Today's History Makers, 21st Century African American Female Entrepreneurs. I have over 40 women in this book. This book is full color from beginning to end. And it shares their stories of how they've overcome challenges. Some of them had parents pass away from cancer when they were little. One of my ladies that I'm featuring in my book, she was in prison, and now her products are in Walmart, and she's just doing great things. She's been on Dr. Oz and places like that. So I feature some fantastic women in my brand new book. Pre-sales are going on right now at todayshistorymakers.com. So if you order, you get a special gift and you get free shipping. It is rolling out officially for Black History Month in February, and the price will be going up. So now's the time to do your pre-sales, and also a portion of the proceeds will go back to actually purchasing those books for me to take to homeless shelters, and I'm partnering with some other nonprofits that service African American female girls that will be getting those books as well. So please make sure you support. You know, it makes a great gift. It's a coffee table book, so it's full color from beginning to end, like I said, and a portion of the proceeds will go to actually purchase that book for young girls so that they can see women that look just like them who are doing a darn thing as entrepreneurs. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight on the Tanya Barnett Show. I cannot wait to see you all later. Have a good one.
It's the Tanya Barnett Show.